disjointed preamble to the preamble. So just to the best of our knowledge, the mission selection for the Dear Moon project, based on their announcement, to the best of our knowledge, they've already selected the person. So we were just doing some random disjointed reflections about uh, the sun and the earth. So just as a disjointed preamble, we had no idea there were so many different like video application submittals for the Dear Moon mission and stuff like that. So we thought it's kind of funny because uh, if we were actually trying to make a submittal for selection, we're not going to mince words. We're just going to be like, um, we want to be selected. If we are selected, uh, we would act like acting self-proclaimed project managers who would seek to change the primary focus of the mission from creative works to basically validating or invalidating uh, disk or flat Earth theory versus spherical Earth theory. We don't really even believe in the mission parameters as stated, but we're gonna, not the best idea for, not the best advice for career seekers to tell an organization you don't even believe in the mission, and you want to be the acting CEO. So, but we have to be honest. But that's why we tend to work alone in all things. So anyway, it was kind of interesting to stumble upon other people's, videos to basically about the Dear Moon mission, basically why, they want to be selected or something like that. To the best of our knowledge, the selection process is already done. Um, and also, if we were making a video, that just wouldn't make sense because if you want, basically, if we wanted to get selected and we, openly say, our opinion, we don't even really, um, we are not actually faithful believers in the mission parameter. We respect the idea. Maybe we're getting the concept wrong of basically a mission that will bring some of the Earth's most talented artists together and see what they can create. As a as part of heritage of humanity. So based on ancient history, especially across multiple cultures from Japan to China, um, basically, we recall like in the Tang Dynasty or something, there were all these classical poets. They wrote a lot of poetry inspired by the night sky, but frankly, we don't really value classical poetry. So from the get-go, basically, it's not the best idea to apply for a position and yet at the same time say you don't believe in the mission. So what we would actually like to see, um, whether it's that project or another project, you can see how uncouth we speak. Um, that basically, what we thought would be a really awesome idea, basically, if there's some future mission, you bring different theorists together, people who believe um, that the Earth is flat, people who don't believe the Earth is flat, um, and you're gonna and then by actually this experiential experience, so we're not basically just uh, you know talking academics, different mathematical models, because uh, academics is interesting, but there's nothing like the actual field experience. And one of the things we want to pivot to now is the concept that a scientific view of the future of the planet Earth. So, for example, the sun has what can be described as meta. This is not scientific. Almost as a sort of analogy, a metabolic clockwork. So allegedly, the sun is actually losing about 350 billion tons each day. So basically, basically before science, people might have thought these are like eternal fixtures in the sky. But with the evolution, the formation of the sun is closely aligned with the formation of the earth. Because in the beginning there was just this cloud of dust, and then basically at the center of the dust, this due to gravity, this thing collapsed onto itself. This is a very uncouth version, and then by collapsing onto itself, it formed the sun, and all this dust around this, accretion disk eventually formed, basically there's all these events of the heavy bombardment, and planets eventually formed from this same accretion disk. So everything within the solar system came from the same solar primordial stew. The primordial stew is not actually referring to anything. It's just kind of like a parable to describe the emergence of biology. But basically, the primordial stew formed the sun, the moon, the earth, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, gaseous giants, and rocky planets. And the moon is actually shares substantially similar substance with the earth. But it is kind of interesting that, based on science, the fate of the earth is definitely not a mystery, because it doesn't really, you can see how the sun is losing mass, and the evolution of the sun, it has certain definite phases beyond any reasonable doubt. It's just like, you're not going to observe it in one lifetime, but it doesn't matter. For example, you have like a 500-year-old tortoise. Eventually, that tortoise is going to die. It's going to go through, different phases. So the same thing with the sun. That's really interesting, because while we're not weighing in on an expert level even by a close shot, it's interesting how the sun has a finite lifespan, and that people can know with absolute certainty there will be a point in the Earth's evolution, the co-evolution of the sun, where complex life cannot be sustained. That's pretty interesting.